So last video was about the club face. What does the club face do? What is it responsible for in the swing? And, how do we manage it through our swing? But this is going to be a little bit different. This one's going to be about where the club face is in terms of the lie angle. Now, the lie angle in the golf swing is basically how the golf club strikes the golf ball relative to the scoring lines. Do the scoring lines or the grooves on your club strike the golf ball, with the toe down, or do they strike the golf ball with the heel down? Now, both of those, when we start to get loft on the club, both of those are going to affect your initial start line and obviously your curve. So we want to try and get an understanding of what does this do and how's it going to help you. So first of all, when I hit a shot where the toe of the club is a little bit more down than the heel, we call that toe down, that has a chance to take the sweet spot of the golf club and project it a little bit to the right. So let's just say in a perfect world where you have a zero club face, so the scoring line is square to your target line and to your path, and the ball is supposed to fly straight, but all of a sudden the ball starts a little bit to the right and curves off to the right, we could probably see a lie angle that was a little bit toe down. And the reverse of that would be true if the heel was down. If you strike a golf ball and the heel's down, the sweet spot's pointed a little bit left. So it'll start left, and then that obviously changes the relationship between the face angle and the path, which makes the ball curve. So those are the things that we check with the lie angle. Now, there's only one device out there right now on the market that does this, and that's the Foresight. Foresight Sports makes a terrific product that actually gets what is the dynamic lie angle, meaning what's the lie angle when you strike the ball, but it also provides a strike point, which will be another video coming soon. The lie angle itself, with these 4 dots on the club face, it's going to help us not only better correct the ball flight of a player, but it's also going to be pretty instrumental in your fitting. In a normal fitting session, you go anywhere from 2 or 3 degrees down to 2 or 3 degrees up, usually dependent on the swing style or how big or short the person is. But we want to know a little bit more than static. We want to do, which is just sitting at address. We want to see what's actually happening in the motion of the swing. So not too many golfers bring the club back perfectly at 0 every single time. They're going to have a bias in one direction, whether it's 1 down, 1 up, 2 down, 2 up, something like that. And if you can get those things a little bit more accurate within your fitting, within your golf clubs, but also within your swing, you're going to find the ball starts a little bit straighter. So what does this mean? If the golfer comes into the golf ball, and we'll look from over here for a second. If the golfer comes into the ball and the shaft gets a little bit steep for whatever reason, could be that the body's standing up, could be that their hands came way out like this, and in order to release the club, it's got to come straight down. Any one of those things has a chance to bring the toe into the ground more than the heel. You can actually sort of tell by the shape of your divots how the club's coming through the ground. I've always called them an iPhone divot, where the divot itself is fairly square. But if your divots are a little bit triangular in shape, they go from thin to thick or thick to thin, that's going to be a sign to you that that club is not going through the ground, heel and toe, at the same time or at the same height. So when we hit a shot here with Foresight, we're going to be able to take a look at what that lie angle is relative to the swing in a dynamic motion. Let's take a look. So here's our Foresight screen with the ball flight. That went 194 yards. This is a 6-iron. And 180 in the air. So we can see here through Foresight software that we had a club path that was 5.1 degrees in to out, and face angle and angle of attack and your rate of closure, all those things that are terrific with the Foresight system. But down here on the bottom right, we can see that I delivered that club 1 degree toe down, and I had a fairly solid strike point. Now the 1 degree toe down isn't much that I wouldn't be worried about that. If I'm consistently 1 degree toe down, I might look at having my lofts bent or my lies bent upwards a degree or half a degree, but that's within a tolerance that I'm not too concerned with. But when I see the club come in anything above 3 degrees, whether it's toe down or toe up, that's either going to be something that needs to be fixed within the swing itself, or a dynamic fit, meaning that we want to fit the clubs based on how the club approaches the golf ball. So, like I said, this system here, Foresight Sports with their new GC Quad, has the ability to measure where the toe is and where the heel is within the swing. Now, lots of players and lots of coaches have used Dr. Scholl's spray to figure out, where the ball hits the face, and that's a little more related to strike point. Fitters use what's called a lie board, and what the lie board is a plastic board on the ground where what the fitter does is takes a strip of tape at the bottom or the sole of the club and puts the lie board on the ground, and you strike the ball and the club's going to hit the lie board. The lie board's going to make a little mark on the bottom of the tape to say, hey, if it's toward the heel, you need to bend the toe up, and if it's toward the toe, you need to bend the toe down. Yeah, so we want to try and avoid using lie boards because the lie board doesn't act like the grass. It prevents the club from going in the ground. So we kind of get a false reading. I know that there are some manufacturers that have collected a lot of data over the past year, and they've slowly bumped up the lie angles in their standard setting in their sets of clubs. And I believe that those lie angles are being bumped up as a measure from the data that they've seen using lie boards, which isn't always going to be, like I said, an accurate measurement. It creates almost a false positive. So the Foresight Sports System lets us evaluate toe up or toe down so that you can better project the golf ball and have less curve or a cleaner curve or a more usable curve for your golf shots. So the next time that you get a chance to play on the GCQuad or the GC2 and the HMT combination from Foresight, take a look at how you're delivering the club into the ground from a lie perspective, because I think that's going to shed some light as to why some of your shots might not go the way that you want them.